All right, everyone. The most recent Apex card is over. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze 2. And, God, just to start off, good job to Roman Dolidze. He won, avenged his loss to Marvin Vettori, which I honestly thought he could have won that fight their first time. Not a robbery by any means, but I did definitely think he won that fight. But all things considered, this is kind of embarrassing to watch. Not because necessarily either of them looked awful per se, but more the fact that these guys are top 10 in this division, middleweight. I know Roman Dolidze is about to be in the top 10 now, and Marvin Vettori's been in the top 10 for quite a while now, which is also crazy to say. And this video is more about Marvin Vettori, but Roman Dolidze will be mentioned in this video as well. But Marvin Vettori is awful. He's not good as a fighter. His only really good attribute I can say about him is the fact that he takes a damage the best out of any fighter. As for other fighters, they kind of are considered really good at taking damage solely because they have a decent chin, but they're also defensively sound. Like, they actually move with strikes. They actually roll with punches. They tuck their chin better. Like Marlon Vera is a good example of that, where he does take a lot of punches and damage really well, but he also tucks his chin for most of that and also doesn't engage as much. So it's kind of harder for him to get knocked out compared to other fighters. For Marvin Vettori, this guy just walks forward and just takes punches. He's not even defending at certain points. He just kind of takes damage and then just doesn't get knocked out. I don't know what's up with that. But the downside of that as well is he's got nothing else. Like, he's got decent cardio, but he also doesn't have that many tools he uses. He's got a punch, he's got some punches, and that's about it. This guy doesn't really throw leg kicks. This guy doesn't, mix up a bit. This guy doesn't really go for takedowns. This guy just kind of plots forward, takes damage, continues to walk forward, doesn't do that much damage, doesn't have really any finishing potential. And it's really bad when I'm considering Roman Dolidze to be a far better fighter than Marvin Vettori. Roman Dolidze, he had more tools on the feet. And that's awful to say because Roman Dolidze is not a good striker. He looked good against Anthony Smith, but that's Anthony Smith, so that's not too hard to do. But he's gotten exposed in fights against Jack Hermansson for not having good striking. I know he won that fight, but he was not doing good on the feet, and it's solely because Jack Hermansson decided to try and take him down to the ground that he ended up losing. And then you just have against Nasrina Mavov, dude looked awful on the feet. It's just not good to see. And the fact that Roman Dolidze actually had more tools is crazy. And he didn't look good in that fight either. He looked more competent out there. He at least mixed it up a bit. He threw head kicks like a madman in the final round, but they were all super slow, so I don't really put too much into that. But the fact that Marvin Vettori even managed to make it into the top 10 and actually stay in the top 10 is crazy. Like, how? Like, how are you doing this? Because this guy has been shown to not have that many skill sets and tools they use as well. I'm a person who thought his performance against Paulo Costa was really impressive, and it still is. But that is like an outlier in that, because that's an actual fight where he actually looked halfway decent. And mostly it was because he just kept walking forward, throwing strikes, and taking damage from Paulo Costa. But that's still better than any of his other performances, because, the fact that a lot of the fighters he's gone against have managed to make him look halfway decent. But it's just crazy to me because he's just not good. He really is. And I don't know who he beats right now. And I think he's a good example of how shit the middleweight division was in the past, as we're now finally recovering from it, as we have a lot of these better fighters now coming up. And I saw the joke of, let's have the trilogy since they're both 1-1. Fuck no. Get fucking Marvin Vettori out of the top 10. Have him fight one of these guys barely in the top 15 or somebody outside the top 15, as he's just not good. He's so bad, in my opinion, that I would have probably picked Shara Magomedov to beat him, and I have never thought Shara has looked good in any fight, and that's just facts. And the fact that I would pick him to win, at least fairly decently, against Marvin Vettori should really tell you all. But that's really going to be it from me. Bye.